Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the sixth group. Now we are going to present about critical discourse analysis and identity, which presented by Ira Aromoviro, Rodolfo Ilmiah, and Siti Narovita. And first, we are going to explain about critical discourse analysis. So, critical discourse analysis explores the connection between the use of language and social and political context in which it occurs. It explores issues such as gender, ethnicity, cultural difference, ideology, and identity, and how these are both constructed and reflected in text.
Identity. According to Anna Devina, identity is about conveying to one another what kind of people we are, which geographical, ethnic, social communities we belong to, where we stand in relation to ethical and moral questions, or where our loyalties are in political terms. The second, identity is to a large extent discursive phenomenon, as representation of self and other co-constructed through language and other semiotic research. It is also a material phenomenon in being enacted in time and space, in real settings, including when online or in social media. The next, the concept of identity. The concept of identity is related with the view that language use is not only a cognitive endeavor, but likewise an eminently social one. The next, the relation between critical discourse analysis and identity. One way in which the construction of identity is filled with power relation and ideology by considering critical discourse analysis to be the right choice for the conceptualization and analysis of this process. Why the critical discourse analysis to be the right choice? Because the critical discourse analysis have explicit commitment to a critique of problematic social practice with a view of transforming them for the better. For example, the first, online communities where social relation and through people's participation and interaction with identities are constructed each other. The second, apartheid politics in Africa, which divides its citizens into two groups of people based on cycle characteristics.
There are two approaches to critical discourse analysis. The first is discourse historical approach. So this approach was developed by Ruth Wodak and her collaborators. And the features of this approach is attempt to integrate systematically all available information of historical background in the analysis and interpretation of written or spoken text. And in addition, based on Karen Zotzman and John Regan, they mention that discourse historical approach attempts to unravel contradiction, manipulation in concrete oral and written textual with aims to contribute to an improvement of ethically and politically problematic situation. And then a discourse historical approach is not focused on how individuals construct their identity per se, but in discourse, which is as part of socio-historical process that are problematic in the way they represent groups such as immigrants. Identity process is about the creation of similarities and differences through concrete discursive strategies. And then in the work of national identity, Wodak and her colleagues follow Benedict Anderson's view that the nation construct based on mythicized recollection and narrative that suggest a common origin and set of values, belief, and tradition. Or in other words, nationalist discourse analyzes an image of people as being of the same kind, such as nationals, and different from another, such as foreigner or immigrants. Then discourse historical approach perceives the construction of nationhood as an ideological strategy that is employed politically, which aim to create boundaries. And then the conceptual framework, which is macro strategies and sub-strategy, is provided by Wodak and her colleagues, which can be employed together with particular argumentation in the discursive formation of national identity. So these are the macro strategies and sub-strategy. The first is construction, which is the nation constructed a certain national identity by promoting unification, solidarity, as well as differentiation. And there is the sub-strategy, which is justification. It is employed primarily in relation to problematical action or events in the past which are important in the narrative creation of national history. And the second is transformation, means that transform well-established national identity and its components into another identity. And the third is deconstruction, which is dismantling part of an existing national identity construct without provide new model to replace the old one.
About the dialectical relational approach. Fairclough examines that the dialectical relational approach draws attention to contextual constraints and affordances that potentially could, and thus that actually do, influence individuals and their project or ascribe identities. So it effectively links the concept of identity with discourse as well as agency and structure, and can thus sensitize the analyst to the unequal distribution of linguistic, cultural, and economic resources. So, in a simple way, dialectical relational is about identity of each individual that can influence other individuals. Then move to the next slide is about interdiscursivity. Interdiscursivity refers to the dialectical relation between discourses, or as way of representing, genres as way of acting and interacting, and styles as way of being. In other words, according to Norman Fairclough, relations of interdiscursivity via orders of discourse are what connect to analysis of the text with an analysis of social structure. For example, in the form of new discourses of security and public hypervigilance that have enacted new ways of interacting and inculcate new identities and subjectivities. In the context of this chapter and this handbook, theories of identity and possibly others within a sociological, political, and economic frame will be deemed suitable. In relation to the topic of the politics of multiculturalism, for example, one or more theories of identity, migration, interculturalism, race, or human rights, amongst others, will be salient. Next, about social analysis. According to Fairclough, social practices are the things people have accepted and learned from the environment, culture, and society they live in. For example, is if there is a family member who died, then the other family of him must hold recitation up to 1000 days in order to send prayers and commemorate him.